Dear friends, today my topic is about importance of fish for human health. Fish is very important for our human health, and as regards the fish is concerned in the country, the annual growth rate of the fish has been recorded as about 10% in the last decade, and the total GDP from fish is about 1%, and it has contributed to about 4.75% of the agriculture GDP in the last decade. Dear friends, in the coastal areas and in the states like Assam, northeastern states, West Bengal, Orissa, Goa, Kerala, their fish consumption is very, very high. It is more than 90% population, they are consuming the fish. But the average population in India, only 60%, they are fish eater. The average per capita intake of the fish in the country is about 5 to 6 kg only. But in fish eating population, it is about 8 to 9 kg, which is only about 50% of the global consumption of fish in the world. If we see the proximate composition of fishes, the water content around 65 to 90%, while the protein 10 to 22%, fat 1 to 20%, and minerals 0.5 to 5%. The protein, the very important part of nutrient in the body. From fish we are getting the cheapest source of animal protein, which is the high quality protein, and in general in the fishes protein content is around 16 to 20%, although we get much more variation in the different species of fishes. The protein from the fish is of high biological value. The reason being, in the fish protein, in the fish meat, muscle, all the essential amino acids are present in the right proportion as required by the human body. Specifically, in the fish protein, the most essential amino acid, the limiting amino acids, lysine and methionine, and the sulfur containing amino acid like cysteine, they are present in large quantity. And as a result of it, the biological value of the protein from the fish is around 80%. That is very good for the human diet. Dear friends, for the protein synthesis in the body, in children, 9 amino acids they are essential, and in adults, only 8 are essential out of 10 essential amino acids required in most of the animals and human being. In the human being, the total essential amino acids, as I have so told, they are phenyl, alanine, valine, threonine, tryptophan, isoleucine, methionine, histidine, arginine, leucine, and lysine. So these are the 10 essential amino acids. PVT, Tim Hall. These are the 10 essential amino acids usually required by the body for protein synthesis. But here in case of children, the histidine is not essential. So only 9 are essentially required for human children body. And in case of adults, even the arginine is not required for the body, and that's why in case of adults, out of 10 only 8 essential amino acids are required for body protein synthesis. And these proteins, they are very essential for repair of the tissue damage, for maintenance of the tissues, and for growth of new tissues generating in the body. Besides the protein synthesis in the body, besides the repair and maintenance of tissues in the body, the proteins are required for synthesis of various types of enzymes, hormones required in the body for various metabolic activities. Thus, protein plays very important role, and fish protein being highly balanced, containing all the essential amino acids in large proportion, it is very important for the human diet. As regards the white-fleshed fish, they are supplying mostly the lean meat, and the fat content is very less in these white-fleshed fishes. Fat content is usually less than 1%, and their protein content varies mostly around 10%. As a result, they are containing low energy content, around 50 to 80 kilocalorie per 100 gram. So they are containing really good amount of protein. 10% protein is because of more amount of moisture. So these white-fleshed fish, they are very good source of all essential amino acids. The protein content in the fish, it depends on various factors, and the most important factor is species. Depending on various species, the concentration varies. Secondly, the nutritional condition. What type of nutritional condition is there? What type of feed has been given? What is the protein content of the fish feed? That will play important role in the protein concentration of the fish. And type of muscles. The muscles which are most active, most working, they will contain more amount of protein as compared to the muscles which are less functional. So depending on these factors, the protein content of the fish muscle varies. The most important thing for the fish protein is, in our diet, it has supplementary value with cereals and pulses. Dear friends, the cereals and pulses diet, they are mostly deficient in the essential amino acid, the lysine, and the sulfur containing amino acids, methionine specifically. And due to deficiency of these essential amino acids, especially lysine and methionine, the protein synthesis, the protein utilization in the body is poor. So, by using fish in the diet, the essential amino acids from the fish protein, especially lysine and sulfur containing amino acids, which are in large amount, they supplement to the diet of the human being with cereals and pulses. As a result, the amino acids are balanced in the diet and our protein utilization becomes very good. That's why use of fish in the diet is having supplementary value. Regarding the composition of different fishes, if you see the Seer content moisture around 70% and variation can be there from 72 to 78%. But in case of Seer, you see maximum percentage of fat, that is 4%. And protein is also high, 22.5%. As a result of it, the energy concentration is more, that is 126 kilocalorie per 100 gram. Similarly, you can say different fishes, Katla, Pomfret, Shark, various types of fishes. The moisture content, the water content around 70 to 78%. Protein content around 17-22%. The fat content mostly 1 to maximum 4%. And the carbohydrate content is mostly less in the fishes. In case of Katla, it is maximum 2.9%. And specifically in the shellfishes, the crab is small. Crabs, their moisture content remains less than the fishes. As a result of it, their fat content is also very high, energy content is also high, and protein content is comparatively much less. And specifically their carbohydrate content is more, around 9% in the shellfishes. As regards the lipid content, mostly because of the size of the fish, condition of the fish, species of the fish, the fat content is highly variable. It is 0.2 to 25%. And in comparison to meat and poultry, usually fat content is very less in case of fishes, except in case of fatty fishes where the fat concentration is very high. Range is 8 to 15% here, and as a result of that, the calorific value, the energy value is 80 to 160 kilocalorie per 100 gram. If we see the fish oil, the fat of the fish, that is very rich source of fat soluble vitamins, and especially the vitamin A and the vitamin D. It is in very high concentration in the fish oil. We realize that the fish liver, that is the excellent source of the storage of vitamin A and vitamin D. And these are the fat soluble vitamins. That's why in the fatty fishes, their concentration is very high. These fishes, especially fish oil, contains essential fatty acids in large quantity, and out of essential fatty acids, high amount of PUFA, that is very, very important, and these are even MUFA, monounsaturated fatty acid, then HUFA, highly unsaturated fatty acid. They are present in large quantity in the fishes, that is the specialty, and omega-3 fatty acid, that is most important, omega-6 fatty acids also very important. They are present in large concentration in the fish fat. Thus, the oily fishes, the fatty fishes, they are very rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And this omega-3 fatty acid is usually designed as good fat because it reduces the LDL, low density lipoprotein, and increases the SDL content. If you see the variation in the concentration of lipid in the sea fish and freshwater fish, the MUFA and PUFA content in the sea fishes, they are more than the freshwater fishes. And usually omega-3 fatty acids, they are higher in the seawater fishes, and omega-6 fatty acid, they are more in the freshwater fishes. Now see the composition of fish fat. The fish fat, around 40% is saturated fatty acid, and remaining 60% is unsaturated fatty acid. Out of this, 25% is MUFA, 25% is omega-3 fatty acid, and 10% is omega-6 fatty acid. As regards the MUFA is concerned, the most important MUFA present in the vegetable fats, they are palmitoleic acid and oleic acid. Their concentration is usually more, and they are also present in the fishes. The advantage of MUFA is it gives fluidity, excellent fluidity to the cell membrane, and that helps in the proper functioning of the cell. And secondly, it is less likely to undergo oxidation. So because of that, our cell membrane, that remains very, very healthy. The most common MUFA, they are also called as omega-9 fatty acid. It is most common, and in the diet also, the most common MUFA is oleic acid. If we see the effect of MUFA, what is the functioning of MUFA, that plays very important role to maintain the healthy cell, to reduce the blood cholesterol, and it has been observed that MUFA reduces the bad cholesterol, reduces the total blood cholesterol at the cost of the bad cholesterol, that is low density lipoprotein. So low density lipoprotein is metabolized in the body because of the fish fat, and that's why there is reduction in the blood cholesterol. As a result of it, there is increase in the good cholesterol, that is high density lipoprotein, that is good for the health. And this PUFA intake in large quantity reduces liver fat as well as reduces the weight loss, and it reduces the blood pressure and various other heart diseases and their risk factors. As a result, the cardiovascular diseases reduces in the human. The PUFA also improves insulin sensitivity. Because of the insulin sensitivity, the glucose metabolism in the body increases, and as a result of it, the blood sugar of the human is controlled. And the inflammation in the body. The inflammation in the body, if it persists for the longer time, that will lead to chronic diseases. But intake of PUFA in large quantity have been found to reduce the inflammation, and that is very good for the body. Now the second important fatty acid, that is omega-3 fatty acid in the fish fat, that is eicosapentaenoic acid. This eicosapentaenoic acid is a very good precursor for prostaglandin 3. This prostaglandin 3, it acts as a very good hormone, and its property is that it inhibits the platelet aggregation. So because of platelet aggregation, the blood clotting is prevented, it is delayed. And further, this EPA also acts as a precursor for thromboxane 3 and leukotriene 5 eicosanoids. So prostaglandin 3, thromboxane 3, leukotriene 5 eicosanoids, they all have very important role in the body, in the cardiovascular system, to reduce the pain and to prevent the blood clotting. Next important fatty acid is DHA, the most important fatty acid, the most important omega fatty acid for the human health is DOCOSAHEXAENOIC acid. This is very important for the development and functioning of the brain, the central nervous system and the eyes. Dear friends, in the brain, 40% of the total PUFA is DHA. You can realize the total PUFA of the brain, 40% is contributed by DHA only, and thus DHA is playing very important role as a building block for the synthesis of nerve cells, and thus the human brain, about 8% is because of only DHA. So 8% of the weight of the human brain, that is because of the contribution by the DOCOSAHEXAENOIc acid, and total PUFA of the brain is 40% contributed by DHA. Thus you can realize how much DHA is playing important role for the development of the brain and for the functioning of brain. Similarly for the retina, DHA is major structural component of the retina. So health of the retina, structure of the retina, that is important, contributed by DHA, and in the retina 60% of the DHA is because of this fatty acid. So DHA is contributing 60% of the PUFA in retina, very important role. And thus third important point of DHA, that is playing structural component of skin, that is to maintain the health of the cell membrane. If cell membranes, they are the first line of defense for the body, and if the cells are healthy, if the skin is healthy, then body can be very healthy. So to maintain the health of cell membranes, DHA plays very important role. So besides the protein and fat, the fish, they are also very good source of minerals. Although, dear friends, fish supplies all the minerals, but the more contribution is of calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium and potassium as a major macro elements, and as a micro elements it is copper, iron, zinc, manganese, iodine, fluorine and selenium. Here kindly note that the selenium is present in very high concentration in the fishes. So fishes, they are very good source of selenium. As regards the calcium, usually when the flesh is eaten, the bones are not consumed, then fish is not a very good source of calcium. Certainly it supplies calcium, no doubt, but when the small fishes, they are consumed, they are eaten whole, they are consumed along with the bones. They are very good source of calcium, they are very rich source of calcium. Besides this, the sea fishes, they are very good source of iodine, very important for body metabolism. The selenium, excellent element for synthesis of antioxidant enzyme, that is glutathione peroxidase. And fluorine, that is very important in minimum quantity for healthy bone and teeth. So these three minerals, essential elements, they are also present in the optimum quantity in the fish. That is very important. Regarding shellfishes, best example is oysters. They are very good source of copper, iron and zinc. And you realize that the nature's richest source of zinc is oyster shell. And zinc is very, very important for our reproductive organ, for maintaining the health, for immunity. So shellfishes, they are very good, very rich in zinc concentration. The bioavailability of minerals supplied through the fishes, in general, it is very good as compared to the plant sources. The plant sources may contain large quantity of some of the minerals, but their bioavailability remains very poor. But in case of fishes, the bioavailability of minerals is much higher. Iodine, certainly we are using iodized salt, but the natural source of iodine, there is no comparison. Iodine is very important for the thyroid function, for body metabolism. It is because of the hormone thyroxine, which requires iodine for the synthesis, and that is very essential for the neurodevelopment of the children and the body. Thus iodine is also a very important source through the fishes. Regarding vitamins, so like protein, very good in the fishes, fat, very good source, minerals, vitamins are also present in the sufficient quantity in the fishes. As regard the fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, and K, then vitamin C, and then vitamin B1, B2, B3, B6, B9 and choline. They are present in optimum quantity in the fish. The fish liver oils, they are the excellent source of fat soluble vitamins. So fish liver, that is the highly concentrated source of excellent vitamins. The example is shark liver oil, which contains 10,000 to 24,000 international unit of vitamin A per gram of the oil. So you can realize the concentration is very, very high. The seafoods, mainly the shellfishes, they are the significant source of vitamin B12. Dear friends, vitamin B12 is available only from the animal kingdom. It cannot be synthesized by the plants. So these seafoods, fishes, they are the excellent source of vitamin B12. And some fishes they contains vitamin C, and best example is Rohu. So vitamin C is also present in the sufficient quantity. Thus we can realize that the fish, especially the maybe cold water fish, maybe sea fishes, they are very good source of protein, excellent quality protein, fat, very important source of omega-3 fatty acid, and then minerals and vitamins. So we should try to advocate everyone to consume fish, and that is very important for our brain development, for our heart, and for maintaining the body healthy. Dear students, dear friends, if any queries are there, kindly contact me through WhatsApp and kindly come to my YouTube. You will be happy to clear your concept. Thank you very much, and wait for the next